Good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here on the occasion of the VGB-Congress 100 plus. Now, as already mentioned, I would now like to talk about the hydrogen material and using it from Uniper's perspective. Empowering energy evolution, that's the guiding principle. We would like to be the active driver of the energy change. Decarbonisation, climate protection, all of these are the mega trends for the 21st century. All of this is widely recognized by everybody, and the challenges that we are standing before are going to be increasing in the future. There will be a greater demand for power. Electrification will be increased by sector coupling, and at the same time we must more and more generate this power in a climate neutral way. So therefore the challenges are rising and ever rising, and what we are doing to face these challenges at Uniper is something I will be talking about. Now, this is the obligatory presentation on Uniper. Who is Uniper? Former subsidiary of E.ON. We are the energy or power generators and dealers with power and gas, and so we can see this here on the upper right hand. More than 30 gigawatt generation capacity. We do have a broad portfolio comprised of coal, gas, nuclear power in Sweden, also lignite, and we have all of those, but also hydrogen. Almost 4 gigawatt in water power. That's also something that we have in our portfolio actively. We are redesigning this, reshaping this portfolio here. We can see our core areas: power generation and trading with power and gas. And on the lower left hand side we can see these areas. So here this is a huge transformation process. Now we are redesigning Uniper from a conventional provider to a climate neutral power company, and therefore we are currently strongly investing in renewables and hydrogen. Now here we can see the other portfolio aspects, the portfolio of our activities alongside the topic of generation and trading. We also have customer business, and I believe that here in the end customer area we have many final customers, and what we do with them is something I'd also like to talk about. Now shortly back to the topic of climate change. Now I brought this quotation along. It's rather interesting, not by Greta Thunberg but by Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, one of our shareholders, and we can see here that this topic is widely spread. It is widely recognized. It's not whether but how. There are many challenges standing before us, many targets. The politics, associations, NGOs, and the capital investors, and you can see one of them right here. They're really standing behind this, and the precise road on how to get there is not clear. I myself am a runner. I can do a marathon, but I do need to know where I'm standing at after 10, 15 or 20 kilometers. But 5 kilometers, it's not quite a long distance, and if we have these milestones, then we can do this great journey. Now, hydrogen is the coal of the 21st century, but other measurements are also needed in order to broaden the portfolio, in order to create and generate power in a climate neutral way. What else is it that we do? We have 3 core directions. On the left you can see that we are actively reshaping our portfolio. So here, coal generation, we successively go to do without it by 2020. Datteln, right around the corner here. No other coal-fired power plant will be active. So all of it will be transitioned towards gas and nuclear by 2035 at the latest. We will be climate neutral in Europe. In the middle we can see our gas portfolio. I will be talking about it later. Now the core topic here is that we actually have a broad portfolio and a great starting point, but number 1 and number 2 in trading with gas in Europe. So therefore it's a good position also for trading with hydrogen. So here in this area we will also broaden our portfolio: generation, transport. So fluid gas and final customer business. We will broaden this, and hydrogen will be broadened significantly. And on the right hand side, the third column is the customer business, because the climate doesn't care who is reducing carbon. We, however, can afford it, and we can already did it, our industrial customers, so utility providers, all of them are faced with the same challenges, and here we are looking for net zero solutions. This project was started and we're actively engaged in the end customer business in order to help our customers to decarbonize themselves. Here, the reduction of our portfolio on the coal side. On the left hand side, we can see that that's something that we've done. 40 tons to 20 million tons were reduced carbon in the middle, and to the right hand side you can see our investment plan in large numbers, almost 1 billion euros per year. We are not as big as others, but it's 1 billion per year that we would like to see invested, and 1/3 of that is going to be dedicated to new projects. So hydrogen on the right hand side, we can see that green gases, renewables, and reshaping our own portfolio. You can see hydrogen, you can see the topic of Fishing. So here we have these stability projects for those who operate the grid, and here we will in Staudinger, in Scholven, we will successively refit our business locations, stepping away from coal, going into gas. So there's a CCU at the end of 2021. The old coal-fired unit will be put out. So hydrogen and gas, here on this topic, our portfolio is available on the left-hand side. Here I've already talked about it, very broad. The entire value creation chain is covered by us, and on the right-hand side you can see the three main directions we would like to develop into. So here hydrogen and green gases will be broadened up to 50% in Europe. Second point, our assets will be successively reshaped for hydrogen. We are currently doing that. Our infrastructure, these smart grid lines and the gas storage facilities and the gas powered power plants, they will be refitted so as to actually fire gas, and we will see this successively as it rolls out over the next years. The third point down here is we of course have our own project development. So maybe you've seen that almost 4 megawatt is all we have for regenerative assets in the hydrogen area. More than 1 gigawatt by 2030 is our objective for a capacity. It's a large number, and we are going forward with that, successively working on this hydrogen approach. Now here another H2 project where we do it in the Netherlands, in Sweden, in the north of Germany, in the northern coast of England, for example. Here we already talked about this, one of the 4 big industrial clusters, which is also closely connected to the UK government, and they will actively analyze the topic of hydrogen. They will look for partnerships, different providers and industrial customers. So they've established Killingholme, a power plant, and our structures will successively be changed in an industrial scale in order to generate hydrogen and to feed it into the grid. Another topic is maybe the city of Rotterdam. Not so long ago, we signed a contract with the port of Rotterdam, one of the largest ports in the entire world, and Maasvlakte is a power plant right there, and this is an ideal location also for hydrogen. There's the open sea. We have industry that is already connected and hooked up. Our infrastructure is already existing, so therefore we are working on establishing a contract for creating hydrogen in the industrial scale. We would like to apply for state subsidies on the European level, and then we will be working on this project on generating hydrogen. This is together with partners, which is one of the largest projects with regards to hydrogen. Many partners, many things are going to play a role here. We can't do it alone, so therefore partnerships are very important. Partnerships between utility providers, customers, governments and state funds. The last point, third direction, the customer business. As already mentioned before, for 2 years now we've actively engaged in this with Uniper. We have a big pool of customers, so industrial SMUs, utility providers, and all of them are faced with the same challenges. Carbon must be reduced, climate change must be mitigated, the active energy change must be designed in the future. So they tender out something, and we then reach out to them. We can provide counsel and help. You can see that here, develop and enable. And the decarbonisation roadmap is something that we need. I will show that this is a consultation specifically from the customer's perspective. What kind of measurements must be implemented by the customer in order to bring down his own footprint for carbon? And here, red, yellow and green, we can see our different measures. So reduction is the simplest measure here. So energy efficiency, as already heard before, is one of the most important points that we tend to forget too often, also as we try to counter climate change and try to work with hydrogen in the 2030s. So therefore, energy efficiency is something that we need to increase, and that's something that we do at our side and also at the side of the customer. So secondly, convert and deliver. So in Scholling there is something for the utility provider in Bremen. There's a new gas power station in order to switch off the coal-fired power plant, and so therefore hydrogen is also something that is at the heart of that. And to the right, if something is left, it may be that compensation measurements, and also here we can help with supporting our customers towards a climate neutrality. The last slide, we can see here how such a decarbonisation roadmap may look like. This is no rocket science. We can see how this develops. Carbon must be reduced. That's the potential here. We can see that. And then on the vertical axis, we see the abatement costs in euro, and we can see here which kind of measurements are going to yield a ROI immediately. And here on the left hand side you can see the green areas, and as we go more towards the right, these are the areas that are currently not very cost efficient. So therefore we provide consultation for a number of different customers. We provide consultation from the customer's perspective, and each customer is getting his or her own roadmap, and we are looking at these processes. We go behind them, these processes, and then find out for the location and for the customer and his portfolio which kind of measurements would immediately be feasible because there's a quick return of investment, and which would be on the longer run because they're not yet feasible of doing that now. Here we can see the different projects and how they play out. All of that is of course dynamic because the price will be subject to change due to regulation, and secondly there will be technological progress, and therefore we will see different measures implemented on the x-axis. So hydrogen of course will be significantly cost reduced if produced in an industrialized scale, and so therefore they will be in the end more cost effective than coal-fired power plants. These are the different directions that we move towards together with our customers. In the end, in summary, to us it's very clear. In conclusion, hydrogen is going to play a very important role. It is going to be the coal of the future, or probably it's going to be the coal of the 21st century. It's going to be very important, but it is still in an early phase. It's still going to take time. In an industrialized scale, maybe we are 10-15 years away from that, and to that point, in 10-15 years time, we need to do also something. We need to implement other measures, and then after 2050 also on the very long run we need yet other measures. And then the third point for Uniper, if these two we would like to make a major difference, we would like to broaden our portfolio for hydrogen while also taking our customers and guiding them through this process of decarbonisation and try to help and assist them in order to mitigate the climate change and to actively engage in designing and shaping the new business models. Thank you for your attention.